beloved listeners, respected seekers of truth, those who carry ambition in one hand and doubt in the other, I welcome you. I welcome you with the sincerity of someone who has lived long enough to understand that people do not search for long, thoughtful words unless they are carrying something heavy inside. You don't press play on something slow, serious, and introspective unless a part of you is hungry for clarity. Not excitement, not entertainment, clarity. So come as you are, sit with me as you are. You don't need to pretend. You don't need to perform. You don't need to impress me or anyone else listening. This is not a performance. It is a moment of honesty between you and a voice that has walked through many storms and survived them all through observation, patience, and brutal self-awareness. The world outside moves fast, too fast. Most people chase pace instead of purpose. They try to keep up with noise instead of listening to their own direction. They run without knowing why they're running, and by the time they stop, they realize the race they were in never actually belonged to them. But you, if you are here, listening to this, you are different. Not because you are better, but because you are awake enough to question, and that makes you rare. Today, the theme before us is simple, brutally honest, and entirely unavoidable: get better or get left behind. Now, that sounds harsh, but life itself is harsh, not cruel, just indifferent. The laws of reality do not bend because we feel tired or overwhelmed or scared. The world does not slow down so we can gather ourselves. Life will move with or without your permission. And that is exactly why we must talk slowly, calmly, like two travelers under the same sky, trying to understand how to move forward with intention instead of fear. Let me begin with something that took me half a lifetime to understand. Nothing in life stays still. Not your skills, not your relationships, not your opportunities, not your potential. Everything is either rising or declining, strengthening or weakening, sharpening or dulling. There is no neutral. People think there is, but that illusion fades with time. You are always becoming something. The only question is whether it's deliberate or accidental. Most people move accidentally. They drift. They follow distractions. They react instead of strategizing. They mistake movement for progress. They confuse exhaustion with growth. But improvement, real, meaningful improvement, requires intention. And intention requires awareness. This is where most people stumble. They want to get better, but they have never stopped long enough to ask themselves who they want to become or why they want to change. So let me speak to you as the old investor in me would. Before you invest in action, invest in direction. Otherwise you'll spend years running efficiently in the wrong direction. Now, let's address something uncomfortable. The phrase, get left behind, does not imply competition with others. This is not about comparing your life to your friend's life, or your classmates' achievements, or the highlight reels people post online. You are not measured against other people's timelines. The truth is much simpler, much quieter, and much more personal. You either grow fast enough to keep up with your own potential, or you fall behind yourself. You get left behind when your potential runs ahead of your willingness. When your future self is calling you, but your present self is too distracted to answer. When you know deep down that you are capable of more, but you settle for less because change feels inconvenient. I want you to hear this clearly. You don't get left behind by the world. You get left behind by your own avoidance. But here's the liberating part: you can decide, at any moment, to stop avoiding. That single decision is the door you are looking for. Let's talk about what getting better actually means, because most people misunderstand it. Getting better is not grinding yourself into misery. It is not sacrificing your health. It is not becoming emotionless, robotic, or obsessed with productivity. Getting better is not speed. It is not adrenaline. It is not hustle. Getting better is alignment. It's the steady, intentional act of becoming someone your future self would be proud of. It is the slow replacement of old patterns with better ones. It is the daily, quiet practice of choosing actions that respect your potential. But people complicate it. They imagine transformation must be cinematic, dramatic, filled with breakthroughs and inspirational speeches. They imagine waking up one morning suddenly healed, suddenly disciplined, suddenly fearless. But real change is smaller, less glamorous, less visible. Real change is built out of micro decisions, tiny, repetitive actions. The kind of actions no one praises you for because no one even notices them, but they compound, and compounding is where life transforms. Now let's slow it down again, because this part matters. You do not get better by force. You get better by clarity. You get better by removing the fog around your thinking. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack awareness of their own patterns. Let me give you the mental framework I've used for decades, the one that has saved me more times than I can count. Life is a constant negotiation between who you are and who you could be. Every day, the gap widens or narrows depending on your choices. Every small choice is a vote, for stagnation or evolution. You vote for stagnation when you avoid discomfort. You vote for stagnation when you procrastinate decisions you need to make. You vote for stagnation when you choose distraction over intention. You vote for stagnation when you tell yourself, "I'll start tomorrow." And you vote for evolution when you choose one small improvement. Not perfection, not self-punishment, just one improvement. Improvement is humble. It's not a show. It's not a performance. It's not something you announce. It is private, silent, internal. Now I want to talk to you about something most people never learn until it's too late. Your identity is slower than your potential. You will grow before you believe you have grown. You will become capable before you feel capable. You will outgrow environments long before you realize you have outgrown them. This is called identity lag, the delay between who you are becoming and who you still think you are. Identity lag is why people stay small. Identity lag is why people stay scared. Identity lag is why people wait for confidence before taking the first step. But confidence is not the starting point. Confidence is the result. Action comes first. Identity follows. Let me tell you something I wish someone had told me when I was younger. The world is not waiting for the perfect version of you. It's waiting for the participating version of you. The one who shows up even when uncertain. The one who tries even when uncomfortable. The one who learns while walking, not while preparing. But let's talk about the other side, the fear of being left behind. Fear isn't the enemy. Fear is information. It tells you where to look. It tells you what matters. It tells you where you are stagnating. Being afraid of being left behind is not a weakness. It is awareness that your potential deserves more from you. But awareness alone isn't enough. Awareness must turn into discipline. Discipline must turn into habit. Habit must turn into identity. Identity must turn into lifestyle. And lifestyle must become the environment where your future self can breathe. Let's go deeper, because you came here for truth, not surface wisdom. You will outgrow people. You will outgrow your old mindset. You will outgrow the version of yourself that tolerated too much, hesitated too often, and doubted too deeply. Growth is not always comfortable, and it's rarely convenient. But the cost of avoiding growth is far greater than the cost of pursuing it. Getting left behind does not happen in one dramatic moment. It happens slowly, quietly, subtly. It happens when you postpone self-respect, when you avoid necessary conversations, when you cling to old habits because they are familiar, when you seek comfort at the expense of your future. People don't fall behind because they are incapable. They fall behind because they underestimate the power of small declines. 5 minutes wasted here, a delayed decision there, another excuse tomorrow. But hear me, you can reverse decline at any moment. Momentum is created or destroyed through small actions. Discipline is built or broken through tiny choices. Identity is shaped or eroded through micro decisions that seem insignificant but are not. And now, let me speak to you with the tenderness of someone who has watched thousands of people rise and fall. Getting better does not mean being hard on yourself. It means being responsible for yourself. It means treating yourself like someone who matters. It means understanding that your future deserves protection, not neglect. You don't improve by punishing yourself. You improve by understanding yourself. Why you avoid, why you fear, why you hesitate, why you sabotage, why you settle. Understanding dissolves resistance. And once resistance dissolves, growth becomes natural. Let me tell you the quiet truth. You are capable of rising much faster than you think. The gap between who you are and who you could become is not as wide as it feels. It closes with intention, with awareness, with small, consistent actions done without drama or noise. Just steady improvement, steady honesty, steady alignment. And with every step forward, the world feels less overwhelming, because you become someone who can handle more. This message is reaching the safe limit for one reply. If you want the next section, continuing this script in the same exact tone, say,